Hi, this is Tara. Today we're studying Sutra number 48. Before we begin, just a reminder, some of you have been taking notes on the sessions on each sutra. A reminder that if you aren't already subscribed to the Substack, you'll find the link in the description box below. The reason I started the Substack is so that you can access the transcript. You can just print it out and make your own notes on that. The reason I'm not uploading notes on my website per episode is because I don't want to violate the copyright of any of these books, because we're studying it quite comprehensively. So you can use the transcripts as notes. Thank you so much. And now we're starting Sutra number 48. ṛtaṃbharā tatra prajñā. Very beautiful sutra. Rita is truth or cosmic order. Bhara is bearing. Tatra, in that place, prajñā is wisdom or spiritual insight. Maharishi Ved Vyasa says, it means therein the faculty of essential cognition. So the cognitive faculty, which shows itself in that state in the mind of the wise, bears the name of essential cognition, which is ṛtaṃbharā. Vachaspati Mishra in his glossary explains that this is a term known to the yogis. So Patanjali, or is commonly used by the yogis. So Patanjali, in using the term ṛtaṃbharā, is sort of invoking this consensus that the yogis have on this matter. The term itself expresses the definition. It always cognizes the essence, the truth. There is not even a trace of false knowledge. And so it has been said, cultivating the mind in the three ways. What are the three ways he lists? Verbal, which refers to hearing the Vedas. Inferential cognition, which is thinking. And practice of contemplation, which is smarana. With tastefulness, one gets the highest yoga. Swami Satyananda explains it as, there at the borderline of nirvichara samadhi, the superconsciousness becomes full with cosmic experience. Swami Satyananda explains the meaning of Ritam and Satyam. And these are the two words, he says, upon which the entire structure of Indian philosophy rests. It is not religion or superstition as is commonly considered, but Ritam and Satyam. Indian philosophers consider that the world and creation are a process of evolution. But they do not believe that this universe is only a manifestation of nature or matter. They believe it's a manifestation of energy. So Sat is subtler than energy. Sat means existence itself. It has two aspects, which are Ritam and Satyam. Satyam is the relative aspect, and Ritam is the absolute or the cosmic aspect. Satyam is perceptible to the senses and understandable by the mind, and in it there can be a change. It is interdependent, but Ritam is not so. It is changeless. These are the two aspects of the entire cosmology. The world of planets and stars is Satyam because it is relative. But the absolute Ritam is beyond energy and change. Ritam is the ultimate truth beyond matter and energy. So after Nirvichara Samadhi, the superconsciousness of the spiritual aspirant becomes full of Ritam, absolute knowledge where the senses do not work. Because how can they work, right? They can't, it's not tangible, it's not quantifiable, it's not accessible to the senses. It is like sound becoming silent when it attains the highest vibrations. When light attains the highest vibrations, it becomes darkness. Likewise, when the inner experience attains the highest vibrations, it appears to be void. This particular state of void, shunya, is vibrating at a very high rate, and so it becomes still. It is not seen, and so it becomes cosmic, Ritam. The creation of the universe began with Ritam and Satyam. Satyam ultimately becomes part of Ritam. It is believed in Indian philosophy that creation is eternal, there's no creator, there is no destroyer, the universe was never created. Energy and matter were there in a different form a few million years ago. There can be no creator nor a day of creation because the universe cannot arise from nothing. And how can there be nothing? How can it give rise to anything? So, Indian philosophy believes in no creator. As it is beginningless, the universe must be endless. Also, matter and energy will be undergoing change in name and form, but the cosmic law can be understood only through spiritual consciousness. Absolutely profound and beautiful sutra. I would highly recommend spending some time just reflecting on the truths that this sutra sort of presents. Swami Vivekananda, I don't know, I think he's checked out at this point. He says the knowledge in that is called filled with truth, is how he translates it. And his explanation is the next aphorism will explain this. He really doesn't waste his words. BKS Iyengar says, when consciousness dwells in wisdom, a truth-bearing state of direct spiritual perception dawns. And he says this earned spiritual illumination is filled with unalloyed wisdom, glowing with truth and reality. The luminosity of the soul manifests, shining with full fragrance. And ṛtaṃbharā prajñā is a state of seasoned intelligence or mature wisdom, accompanied with intense insight. Osho says, in Nirvichara Samadhi, the consciousness is filled with truth. Like Swami Satyananda, Osho also dwells on the beauty of the word ṛtaṃbharā. Definitely worth reading both of these bhashyas for this sutra specifically. He says ṛtaṃbharā is a very beautiful word. It's just like the Tao. The word truth cannot explain it completely in the Vedas. It is called Rit. Rit means the very foundation of the cosmos, the very law of existence. Rit is not just truth. Truth is too dry a word and too logical, because then when we say truth, we're saying this is true and that is not true, and we're comparing. So it's too mundane, right? It's too logical a word, Osho says. Rit means the law of cosmic harmony, the law which moves the stars, the law through which seasons come and go. The sun rises and sets, the night follows day, and death follows birth. And mind creates the world, and no mind allows you to know that which is. Rit means the cosmic law, the very innermost core of existence. So rather than calling it truth, he says it would be more useful to call it the very ground of being. And he says in truth, untruth is discarded. But in ṛtaṃbharā, the whole is accepted. And the whole is such a harmonious phenomenon that even, say, poison plays its own part. Not only life, but death also. Everything is seen in a new light. Even the misery, the dukkha, takes a new quality to it. Even the ugly becomes beautiful, because in the moment of the dawning of ṛtaṃbharā, you understand for the first time why opposites exist. And opposites are no more than opposites. They have all become complementary. They help each other. And he tells this story about Alexander the Great was in search of something that can make him immortal. So he searched and then reached a cave where some wise man told him, if you go into that cave and drink from that river, you'll now become immortal. And he went into the cave and was about to drink when a crow that was sitting there cautioned him and said, don't drink from that river. And Alexander pauses and he says, why? And the crow says, because I have been immortal since I drank from that river, and I have been trying every which way to die, because I can't bear my existence anymore, but there is no way out. And Alexander thinks for a while, and then he leaves the stream without drinking from that cave. And Osho says the moral of this little, story is life will be simply unbearable without death. So the dawning of wisdom must also give us an insight into why the things that we call difficult, why the things that we call sorrowful, why the things that we don't want must harmonize with the things that we want. That is why overcoming dvesha and raga, that is revulsion and attachment, is what brings us to equanimity. The minute we are still rejecting the darkness of ourselves, of others, it's an indication that we haven't really understood, right? And he says that's why all those who have they say life is perfect. You cannot improve upon it. And he says, call it Tao, which is why, the Chinese symbolism for say yin and yang is the dark and the light. And of course, even in our cosmologies, in all our stories, we have the negative with the positive. So Osho says Tao is a more correct translation of the word ṛtaṃbharā. But still, if you can remain with the word ṛtaṃbharā, it will be more beautiful. Even the sound of it, he says, has the quality of harmony. Barbara Stoller Miller says, here wisdom is the vehicle of truth. And she says, the state of consciousness is a wisdom realized without intellectual activity, potentially contrasts it with the teachings of sacred texts and knowledge based on experience, which are fundamentally discursive and generate further thought. This also corresponds to something the Buddha said, which is about the three kinds of wisdom, which is the Chintamaya Panya, the Jnanamaya Panya, and the Bhavanamaya Panya. Chintamaya Panya is that which is intellectualized, discussed, debated. Jnanamaya Panya is that which is known through the written word. And Bhavanamaya Panya is that which is experienced, and experienced directly without any interpretation or interception of the truth. So this was Sutra number 48. Hope it was useful to you. Please do come back tomorrow for Sutra number 49. Thank you.